welcome back everybody to the Red Bull Ring for part 2 of our drivers' press conference. Left to right, Nico Hulkenberg, George Russell and Sergio Perez. Very warm welcome to the three of you. George, if we could perhaps start with you. Toto referred to the recent Spanish Grand Prix as a reality check for Mercedes, even with your pole position. What's your view on that race weekend and the performance of the car?
It's a reality check because Ferrari have clearly had a great chassis this whole season. Their power unit has been a bit behind us, quite a bit behind us, but suddenly in Barcelona they seem to have made a step forward, so they were much closer to us in terms of their straight line speed. And they're bringing a lot of upgrades, which has been quite surprising for us. We've brought one upgrade this season so far. We've got some in the pipeline, but Ferrari are bringing bits to the car. So we need to keep on pushing. And I think every time a team is bringing a new bit to the car, they're making big steps forward.
Are you saying you'd like to see Mercedes bringing more than they currently are?
Well, it's very challenging these days with the cost cap, and you could always decide to pull the trigger and start bringing an upgrade, in a couple of races' time. But you also need to be strategic of when is the optimal point in the season, and if you can afford to bring more upgrades or not within the cost cap. Maybe they've got a slightly different approach, and they're saving money elsewhere and spending more on the upgrades. It's a compromise, and at the end of the day, we're still the team to beat. So this will be another good weekend to see if Ferrari are still on that good form or if that was a one-off.
What about you and the car? Of course, you closed the points gap to Kimi Antonelli in Spain, but crucially, are you happier in the car now?
Spain was a weekend I was very happy about on Friday and Saturday because it's been a real tough run of form for me, both with things outside of my control, but also things within my control. It hadn't been good enough, and I went in with a more simple mindset into Barcelona, really quick in qualifying, and over the course of the whole weekend, unfortunately, we had an issue with the front wing in the race, which compromised us quite a lot, and Ferrari capitalized. So I need to keep on making some small evolutions with this new car, with the setup, with the tires, to get the most out of it. But I'm feeling good, I'm feeling confident and excited to have 4 races in 5 weeks.
Okay, George, thank you very much for that. Nico, can we come to you now? Amid all the frustration of what happened in Monaco and Barcelona, what positives can you take from those races?
I think just all in all, we're making progress. The performance, is there. We are competitive in the midfield, and I feel both in Monaco and Barcelona we were able to put it into the top 10 on merit. But yeah, both race weekends, had circumstances that denied results on Sunday. I think, I feel also on Sunday in Barcelona we made life slightly difficult and hard for ourselves. But, there's definitely positive signs. The car, if I compare it now to how it felt the first 2-3 races to where we are now, it's definitely some good progress there. And I think it's just a matter of time and a matter of us, putting it together and staying clean and staying focused.
So even though there are not the points on the board that you want, do you feel the team is building some momentum?
Yes.
Okay, now look, what about this point in the season? Because last year it was now that you started to enjoy a wave of really good results, including, of course, the podium at Silverstone. It's now a very different team to then. So what can you expect in these coming races?
I don't know what to expect. It's not about what we expect. It's about what we put on the road. It's about how we perform. We're obviously in the European leg now. Some races and circuits coming up that I do enjoy. It's obviously the summer season. Most of the races are going to be hot. Silverstone around the corner next weekend, which is one of my favorite tracks. And yeah, we'll obviously give it our best shot and try to even home on Sundays.
But how different does the team feel now compared to a year ago?
Yeah, of course it's different. Being a factory team now, being Audi, it certainly there has been a change and a shift in the team. all positive. Like I said, I think the first 5-6 races were obviously tough for us, challenging on many areas or in many areas, but I feel we've battled through it, and really digged ourselves out, but we haven't gotten the reward yet. So we keep working and pushing for that we will force it to come.
All right. Nico, thank you for that. Checo, coming to you. Big weekend for the team here. You've got a substantial upgrade package. What are your hopes?
Yeah, we definitely want to make good progress. We can see that we are getting closer towards the midfield, especially over a lap. I think still we are lacking quite a bit on the degradation side with the tires. We are bringing an upgrade here that hopefully can get us even closer. And once we are there, it's all coming down to the little details. I think operationally, the team has been improving quite a lot, making really big steps so far. So yeah, hopefully this upgrade can put us a lot closer.
You talk about the steps that the team has made. What has been the biggest lesson that Cadillac has learned so far in 2026?
I think the importance of maximizing everything, in terms of operational side, the strategy, it's irrelevant of where you are on the grid. Formula One is very competitive all across. Even if you're fighting for P18, it's still at a very competitive level. You're fighting great teams like Aston, great drivers. So it's about maximizing every single detail out there.
And on a personal level, Checo, you've now got a decent number of races under your belt this year. When you look back at the year out last year, how long did it take you to get up to speed? Do you think it cost you anything in those early races?
I think it was really good for me. The way it worked out, having a year off, is not easy to come back to the sport. I was actually surprised, when I did the test in the middle of last year with Ferrari, with the 23 car, how quickly I got up to speed. I didn't want to drive anything else, because any other series, until I knew what I was going to do in my future. And I didn't drive anything other than karting. And when I jumped in the Ferrari, within a couple of laps, couple of runs, I was already up to speed, up to the pace. So that gave me a lot of confidence. And I knew that starting this year, everyone was going to start from zero. So with these new regulations, and I think pretty much straightforward, once I've done it for so long that it didn't take me too long to get up to speed.
But there's something new for you this weekend. It's a heat hazard here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Do you think you're going to use the cooling jacket?
I don't want to use it, but anyway, you pay the penalty on the weight. I don't think, I'm Mexican, so for me this is not too warm. It makes me laugh that all the Europeans are concerned about this level of heat, but for me it's pretty average, So, but I will warm it just to keep myself a little bit cooler.
All right, great. Thank you for that. Let's open this to the floor now. Broadcasters first, please.
You're the only one wearing shorts on there, Sergio. To be fair, George and Nico looking very cool in trousers. George, if I can turn to you, David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Lewis said in a press conference in Barcelona, I'm back to doing what I do best after his win. So with that in mind, is he a bigger title contender to you, or is Kimi Antonelli still the one you've got to beat?
Yeah, firstly, it's great to see Lewis back doing what he does best. And I think that's also just such an example of how challenging Formula One is, because the cars are so complex, the tyres are so complex, the power units are complex. Everything needs to click. And if one thing isn't clicking, you can't get the most out of yourself. And, people were writing him off last year, or even the year we were teammates in 24. Is he too old? Is he this? Is he that? And then he goes and he's been smashing it for the last 4 or 5 races, and it just shows that you don't forget how to drive overnight. You need yourself, your team, the setup, the understanding of the tires, everything just to click. And when it clicks, you fly. As you say, it's beautiful. So, and that's where he is at the moment. And for sure, he's a big threat. Ferrari are a huge threat. Kimi is still very much the driver out front and is performing really incredibly and consistently. But yeah, Ferrari feel like they're coming, and Lewis is at the forefront of that.
What makes you more nervous, the intra-team battle with Kimi or battling with someone from another team?
Neither makes me nervous. It makes me excited to be honest, because the more people you're going head to head with, that's competition. And that is how it was for all of us when we were go-karting. You were never racing one competitor. There were 3, 4, 5 drivers who are all competing for wins. That's how Formula One should be, and that's what excites us. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Next one, please.
Here is Roland Rodriguez from DAZN Spain. A question to George. You both drivers in Mercedes are fighting a lot in the track. I would like to know your opinion about team orders in Mercedes. The team should consider it sometimes or just fight?
I think it's clear the win for the team is the priority. It doesn't matter which driver. You saw in Canada, Kimi and I fought really hard, but we were pulling away from everybody else. So the win for the team was not under threat. But then you look in Barcelona and suddenly you have another driver who's in the fight. And Lewis had the safety car, this helped a lot. Without the safety car, Kimi and I were losing time together, and it would have given the opportunity to Ferrari to win. And that is when, we need to be smart as teammates. And it's very clear, the team wants to win the race. And it doesn't matter if it's myself or Kimi.
Thank you. Next.
Moritz Steidl, Servus TV. Question to George. George, there were a lot of reliability issues from Mercedes power units this season. It happened also to you last time around to Kimi. Is there something that is in your mind when you're entering the cockpit? And also, like in the debrief, how much into detail can you go? And did you find a solution yet?
It's very much a priority for everybody at Mercedes to get on top of, and is often the case at the beginning of a new regulation that you're pushing the boundaries of performance, and it's difficult to know that balance with regards to reliability. So it's not something I'm thinking about at all, to be honest, when I drive. But as a team, it's the highest priority for Mercedes and all of the other Mercedes customer teams.
Thank you. Next.
Mara San Giorgio, Sky Sport F1 Italy. A question to George. Is there a plan to control battery alarm? And how big is it for you and the team?
So with the reliability, you mean? Or well, it hasn't been straightforward to analyze the problems. My battery from Canada is still, in the sea freight because we were not allowed to fly with it. But we have seen these issues back at the factory. We've seen the issues on, McLaren and the Williams car. Kimi had the same issue in Barcelona. So as I said, it's the highest priority at the moment. And to be honest, I'm focusing on the performance and focusing where I can make my improvements and leaving those details. I'm not allowing myself to get too stressed over something I cannot control.
Thanks. Next.
From Supersport Africa. First off, the Soccer World Cup is on at the moment. Mexico's already into 32. So is Germany. So, guys, have you been watching some of the games? And, George, do you think England can finally bring it home?
Nico, let's start with you. Big game for Germany tonight.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a convenient time in Europe. No, 10 p.m. usually from bed. Once the little one is in bed, it's been following a bit casually, and it's good going to bed program. Yeah.
Checo.
Yeah, for us has been very excited. Having the World Cup in Mexico has been great, and the national team is playing really well. So we are excited now to see what comes next in the next couple of rounds.
How sad are you to be missing the games in Guadalajara?
Super sad. I was trying to go, but then it was quite hard to figure it out. But I think if we go through the next game, I'm definitely going, because it will be in Mexico again. So yeah, I will have to go.
George?
Yeah, the three of us were just briefly talking about it, been following.
It might be against England, actually.
Would it be?
Could
Okay.
be one of the options. Maybe we go together.
I'll jump on your plane and I'll come with you. Yeah, I've been following a lot of the games. Obviously, following every minute of England, and really behind them. And I think they've got an amazing chance. Obviously, the result wasn't perfect in the last game, but clearly the performance was great, and they're very solid.